G'day YouTube, I'm coming to you from Claire's block 6 in my orchard, where there have been some trees that I think in one of the early videos I did explained hadn't done terribly well despite being planted in about 2006. We think they're largely Hawaiian varieties, but some A16s in there as well. They've got some nuts on them though, I have to say. Here's an example of one tree that's really quite laden, and I would absolutely love to know what this variety is, if anyone can tell me. Perhaps it is an A16, I don't know. The leaves look a bit 246ish to me, but I'm not an expert yet. Anyway, when my contractors were preparing this place for harvest, they asked, should we mow just the blocks or the surrounding areas as well? And I told them to do the surrounding areas because it had gone very overgrown. And this particular patch that you're looking at now is completely overgrown with grass. But they cleared it, and then when I looked at it after mowing, I thought, this isn't bad land for a bit of a trial planting. There's enough space here and for about 25 more trees which I can plant. And my tree supplier, Rick from Discovery International, one of the most beautiful human beings you'll ever meet in this industry, has told me that he has some trees of MCT1, which is a very interesting new variety, large nut, bit of a thin shell compared to normal ones, which can prompt rats sometimes, but it loves the heat, it loves full sun. And this is facing northeast, and in this knoll of a hill gets absolutely full sun. The soil looks good. There's only one little patch of rock that I found when mowing it myself. So what I did is I mowed it down fairly close compared to the rest of the orchard. And what you can see here is I got some cheap rope from Bunnings. All I can say is it's cheap for a reason. It gets tangled like you wouldn't believe. But I've laid these lines of rope along the soil and put tent pegs in where I think I can plant them. And the spacing I've done for each peg is 4 meters, and the spacing between the ropes is 8 meters. So classic 8x4 spacing, fairly conservative, because MCT1 can be planted a little closer than that, because they're not a large tree, or at least by reputation they're not a large tree. They've been in development for since the late 90s, in fact, before getting released to the public. It's not that well proven in New South Wales, but it's a big hit in Queensland. So they've said, look, in New South Wales, provided you've got a nice sunny patch, go for it. And they have some to supply, so I'm going to try some MCT ones on this block here. Now, this is my last line of rope, because it gets a bit steep after that. While I have steeper gradients on my land, it's a pest to manage, and given it's a trial block, you don't really want to push it too hard. I may do part of one more row, but to give you an example of where you look, what you shouldn't do, and it's hard to give you the angle. I suppose if I point the camera the right way, you'll see that this block down here, which is the upper end of the dam block, is very steeply sloped, and it tails away, and it's an absolute horror to mow. And there's a chance that I won't be going ahead with this little part of block 7 because it's just too steep and just too hard to cultivate. Here, on the other hand, relatively flat, beautiful sun exposure. It's nowhere near those trees, so I'm not being over ambitious with it. And on the number of pegs that I've put down, I can plant about 25 new trees. So the next step before going any further is to come back with a spray can full of herbicide and thoroughly kill the grass where I'm going to be doing the planting to get it back from the planting spot. And it was a tip from Jared, who watches my videos. Thank you, Jared. Big shout out to you. And next, to find a proper mechanical post hole digger rather than dig them myself like I did last time. Back-breaking work, I can promise you. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. I've got harvesting going on in the other blocks, and I'm going to have to jump on the mower and follow the harvester to get them to get them nice and clean. But absolutely lovely day on Nutkin Farm. To my relatives, wish you were here. It really is the farm at its best in autumn when it's not too hot, and yet beautiful green sunny weather. All right, that's 3 videos in one session now, so you'll have a break from me for a little while, but I'll come back, probably do an update on this little experiment after I've planted the new trees. Thanks for watching. Bye.